Hello students, today we are here again with Science Makers Genius. Chapter is Matter Around Us Pure, class 9th. So today let us see about how matter is classified as pure and impure, what is solution, what is mixtures. So let us proceed with the introduction. We do know that matter is made up of particles which are arranged in a certain way. Gaseous particles are well separated and can freely move about. Solids, on the other hand, have particles that are tightly packed, usually with no scope to move around. So, we have seen children around us that there are particles. If we talk about air molecules, they are far away from each other. Whereas, if we talk about solids, molecules are tightly packed and liquids are, you can see, they lie between the solids and liquids. So let's see the pure substances. Pure substances are the elements or compounds. They are made up of only one kind of entity. They cannot be broken down into simpler entities by chemical or physical methods. They have fixed composition. Example, diamond, carbon dioxide. Children, they have a fixed composition. Like if we talk about water also, it's a pure substance. Two uh, moles of hydrogen and one oxygen, right, means H2 is a molecule and oxygen is an atom there. Carbon dioxide, CO2, it has a fixed composition, right? So if we talk about diamond, also has a fixed composition. It is an allotrope of carbon, right? So these are called as pure substances, right? Next is mixtures. Mixtures are formed by just mixing two or more substances, pure substances or components, such that each substance retain its own chemical identity. Types of mixtures. Types are homogeneous mixture. A mixture which has a uniform composition throughout is called a homogeneous mixture or solution, right? Example, sugar in water, salt in water. Heterogeneous mixtures, let's see, like homogeneous mixture, if we mix like if we take water, right, and mix, dissolve sugar in it or salt in it, and it will have a same composition throughout. So that is called as homogeneous mixtures. Now let's proceed to heterogeneous mixture. What are those? They do not have, fixed composition throughout, right? That is called as heterogeneous mixture. So you can see here a mixture which contains physically distinct parts and has a known uniform composition is called as heterogeneous mixture. For example, mixture of salt and iron filling, salt and sugar. So here in this picture it is shown clearly particles distributed non-uniformly. These are heterogeneous. Particles which are distributed uniformly are called homogeneous mixtures. So here we can see the examples also of heterogeneous mixtures. Children, ice and soda, blood, soil, cereals and milk, right? If you talk about homogeneous mixtures, steel, air, rain, right? Rain also have, so many impurities in the water. So that is also impurities are there. But if we see that, water, the formula of water remains the same, H2O. If we talk about air also, the composition of air, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and traces of noble gases also there, argon is there, right? So that will have the fixed composition. Oxygen will have fixed composition. So that is called as homogeneous mixtures. So I think you people are clear with the definition of mixtures, homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. So now let's proceed to solution. Solution, children, what are these? They are homogeneous mixtures, right, of two or more substances. What are their properties? Its particles are too tiny and have a diameter less than 1 nanometers. Right, the particles are not visible to naked eyes. Particles do not scatter a beam of light passing through it, and hence do not show Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is what? When the lights get scattered in different directions, right? So that is called as Tyndall effect. You have seen, you have studied in 8th class also, in forest areas also. You can see the, under the trees, the light gets diverged in different directions. That is called as Tyndall effect, right? The solute particles never settle down on keeping undisturbed. If you will keep the solute particles, that solution, right, the solute particles will not be settling down at the bottom. If we dissolve sugar in water, right, salt in water, so if we'll keep that undisturbed for a while, you will not see anything get settled down at the bottom. So that is a property of solution, right? The components of a solution cannot be separated using filtration. So we have an experiment also, children. We'll do this experiment also, right? So when you mix the solution, and when you do the when you use filter paper to filter that solution, you cannot separate solute and solvent once it gets dissolved completely, because it's a homogeneous mixture, right? So these are the properties of solutions. Next comes concentration, right? Very, very important. You will be studying in detail in 11th class also. Solubility, what is that? Solubility is the property showing the ability of a given substance, which is the solute, to dissolve in a solvent. It is measured in terms of the maximum amount of dissolved in a solvent at equilibrium. The resulting solution is called saturated solution, right? So saturation means, like, if you will dissolve sugar in water, if you go on dissolving, right, so that time it is unsaturated, but saturation point comes that now no more solute will be dissolved in that mixture, or when it is becoming now saturated, it has become saturated, right? So if it is in terms of maximum amount of solute dissolved in a solvent at equilibrium, now equilibrium stage has come and no more solute will be dissolved in that particular solution, right? So that is called as saturated solution. Factors affecting solubility, that is temperature, pressure. Now how they affect, let us read about it. Solubility increases with increase of temperature. The solution of different gases, with increase in temperature, they become less soluble in each other and in water, but more soluble in organic solvents. So children, you can see that when you heat when you dissolve sugar in water also, when you increase the temperature, sugar gets easily dissolved. You need not to stir that solution. So that is the thing. It is we have a proof also. We can see that thing in the kitchen also, right? So when temperature increases, solubility increases, right? Pressure, for the majority of solids and liquid solutes, pressure does not affect the solubility. The solubility of a gas is directly proportional to the pressure of this gas, right? It will be explained, like, I'll explain you with this one activity also, how the pressure affects in our next video. Types of solution based on concentrations. There are three types of solution based on concentration: dilute, concentrated, saturated. I have already told you. So what is concentrated and dilute solution? Children, concentrated solution, lots of solute in a small amount of solvent, means more solute is there and solvent is less. You can see solute is more and solvent is less. So that is why we have taken, for example, copper sulfate here, right? But when we have more amount of copper sulfate, dark blue appearance is here, right? And water is less. But in this case, in dilute solution, you can see solute is small and water is more, so it will be light blue color. We have taken copper sulfate here also, copper sulfate here also, right? So you can see that is concentrated, that is dilute. So that is the difference, right? Now, concentration representation, ways of representation, representing of concentration of a solution. We have a formula: mass percentage of a solution, that is mass of solute, divide by mass of solution into 100. If you have to take mass by volume percentage of a solution, then mass of a solute, volume of solution into 100. So here is a one numerical. I have explained here with an example of numerical, right? So concentration of a solution, if we have taken 20 grams of sugar dissolved in 100 grams of solvent, so if we'll add solute and solvent, it will be how much? Sorry, 200 grams of solvent we have taken, and 20 grams of this, so it will be 220, right? Mass of, if we'll add it solute and solvent, 220 will be the total, right? Mass of solution or volume of solution. If it takes if we talk about volume, then it will write ml, right? So here we are taking mass percentage of a solution in grams, right? 220, so 20 plus 200, 220, right? So mass of a solute, we know the formula of concentration of solution. Mass of a solute means of sugar, that is 20 grams. Mass of solute plus mass of solvent, that means mass of solution into 100. So here in this way you can calculate the mass percentage. So I think we are clear here today with the pure substances definition, mixtures, two types of mixtures, homogeneous, heterogeneous, solutions, concentrations, right? How do we calculate the concentration representation? I have explained you this thing with the help of this numerical also. What are dilute and concentrated and saturated solution? These are also clear to you, children. Just have a revision of these things, and once it will be clear, it will be more easier for you to learn or to go through other topics. Okay, so bye bye all of you. Take care, study hard, and do well. All the best.